Yeah, that's a lot of damage with just heavy attacks. Staging to see what we're doing. This is nuts. Hey, it's Dan, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Now in this one guys, we're going to break down the Heavy Attack Hero Mark II. This is like the previous build where we've taken everything that we can possibly do to make our heavy attacks hit as hard as possible. And as you can see in the footage, it is absolutely nuts. Don't panic for those people going, well, Markarth is just around the corner. This works in Markarth as well as Stonethorn. So if you're on console or PC, you know this still works for you. As with my build videos, I'm going to go through the gear, the skills, everything you need to know. And I'm also going to put up a follow-up video just showing how to play the build. So make sure that you are commenting and you are subscribed. I would hate for you to miss it. And before we jump into this one, I just want to say a massive thank you to all our Patreons. Like, your continued support allows me to make these videos. So if you want to support myself and the channel and get access to the videos early, the advert free, support for myself on Discord and stuff, then do consider donating as little or as much as you can. It really helps. And with that out of the way, let's just get into it. So for our race, we are a Dark Elf. The race in all honesty has little impact on the build, but a Dark Elf is probably the best race if you had to pick one. This is because you get Magicka and Stamina and use both stat pools, so this is mainly why. We also get access to weapon and spell damage. The spell damage is what we need, so Dark Elf is probably the best. Breton, Argonian are great choices, so is High Elf, even Nord, even Redguard. Like, the race has little impact on how well the build does, so don't be sort of disillusioned if your race isn't quite right. For kind of the stats and stuff, we have all points of Magicka. We're pushing our Magicka as high as we can and our spell damage as high as we can, and our light and heavy attack damage as high as it can. This means our armor is a bit low and it means our regen is a bit low, but we're heavy attacking to get the regen up, so that solves that issue. And for the armor, we're doing so much damage we just nuke people. This is made to be in groups, so you want to have a healer with you, but you can actually change this to be a healer itself and it's much more bulky as a result. If you do die too quick though, just move these points in health and Magicka and just move them around to find a sweet spot for you. You lose damage, but you gain survivability, so just find what's right for you. We are using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, and I would recommend having the Lava Mundus because this is the hardest hitting Mundus for this build. So Bewitched Sugar Skulls, Lava Mundus. If you go as a vampire and get up to stage 3, this will also make you more bulky, so this is a really good thing to consider. If you go on dying too quickly, Vampire Stage 3 will really help you play this build. As we kind of said with the food, it is Bewitched Sugar Skulls. It's all tri-stat stuff, it's like the best you can get. We then use either Alliance spell pots or we use tri-stat potions. Tri-stat are better, but they're more expensive. Alliance ones are just as good. Even just trash health potions are good for just all-no moments, or the Alliance health potions, they're good as well. But you want ideally something that gives you health back or Magicka. As for kind of the skills, you know, nothing's really changed from last time. I've gone through and just tweaked a few things. I find a Flame Lash is incredibly good because of the heal, so this is a really big heal. And if we pair this with Fossilize, we can basically heavy attack when they come near, Fossilize, Flame Whip his, no, it's got good damage, and it's got a really big heal, which is the main thing. We then have Engulfing Flames. This can be changed to a ranged dot like Soul Trap, Entropy if you like. I quite like this against Nightblades though. It's good in melee range. I use Shock Reach because I use the Master's version. You can use the Maelstrom version if you prefer, which is more heavy attack damage. This just has much more range and that's what I like. We use Inner Beast, which is a really odd one, but it's mainly because when we hit somebody with this, they take 5% more damage from us, which means our heavy attacks do 5% more damage, which is noticeable. And as we said, we have Fossilize for the stun. It's Immobilize at the end, so this pairs really well with all of elements. We then have Ferocious Leap, which is a big burst hit, and it gives us a massive shield. So if you do get pressured, this is your all no button. You basically do your heavy attack into leap, or just leap, then heavy attack, or Fossilize, heavy attack, then leap. You get loads and loads of burst with this in the heavy attack combo. On the back bar, we have Armor Buff, Coagulating Blood, which is our burst heal, Combat Prayer for Minor Berserk, which is more damage. This is why we don't use Slime Claw. We then have Soul Trap. This is nice because it gives us resources if we kill people, so this is actually quite useful. and I'd recommend carrying empty soul gems just for this, because you will kill people really, really quick. We then have molten armaments, which is like the special source in the build. It's major brutality and sorcery, which is 20% more damage, but it buffs our heavy attacks by 50%, which is the key to this build, and is why this works so well on a Dragonknight than any other kind of class. And I use Ferocious Sleep in the back bar again. If you don't, want to use this, you could go down to Earthen Heart and use Magma Armor. This is absolutely fine. You could even go down to the Sigil Order, which I don't actually have, so you could put Sigil Order Temporal Guard on as well. But are the skills. As I said, if you do plan to use the Maelstrom version, simply put this on instead of here, and I'd recommend having Elemental Blockade. Now for the gear and stuff, guys, I'm going to go through and kind of break down what you need to know. This is on the live server, so I am a bit low in gold, as you can see, 3,688, because times are hard making all the builds. So if you want to help me, you can donate on the guild and stuff in game. It really, really helps, or on Patreon, it all helps. As with this, I'm using the Master's Lightning Staff. I use this for the range version, but this can be changed to the Maelstrom Lightning Staff and use Wall of Elements, as I've said. On the back bar, we're using the Undaunted Infiltrator, so kind of similar to before. We are using poisons as well, and this is stamina, which is nice. But when you use a magic ability, you increase the damage for your light and heavy attacks by 1607, which is huge. And obviously how it scales, that does go up quite considerably. We then have poisons on the back bar, which is like just still poisons, but you can use double dots. That's slightly better. I just ran out. I then use one Kina. This could be Balorg, could be Valken Scoria, but basically 1 piece damage once a set. We then pair this with Undaunted Unweaver as well, which is basically the sort of light armor version. This is Magicka Magicka. You can use a stamina ability, you get the same amount of bonus, so 1626, and we basically just pair those two together. We then add Markarth on top of this to get even more lols, so it's really, really powerful. What's really important with this setup is that you have light armor on, so you need to have 5 lights. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you need to have Unweaver on the feet, the legs, the hands, the waist, and the chest. You could put shoulders if you want. And then you need to have 1 piece to be Infiltrator, with Infiltrator neck and ring. So there's 1, 2, that's 3, and then in the back bar we go 4 and 5. By doing it this way, we can then free up the front bar to have a special weapon of choice. So it could be the Master's Staff, or it could be the Maelstrom Staff, which you can have even more range with Masters, or just the really high burst at point blank with the Maelstrom. Both are incredibly powerful, but what's nice is that these things stack. So when we cast the magic ability on the back bar, and we cast the stamina ability on the front bar, which is Inner Beast, we proc both of these. And when we cast the magic ability on the back bar, we proc one of these sets. We then use the stamina ability on the front bar, we proc the other one. They stack together. With having the access to the molten armaments, this increases the damage by 50%. We then have major sorcery, which increases our light and heavy attack damage even further. And we have penetration sources, which means we get even more damage on top. Which is why you can see in the gameplay we're hitting like 5 to 7k lightning ticks. The heavy attack does like 20k per full heavy attack, which is huge. And if you use the obviously Maelstrom, it goes up to like 8 to 10k per tick. And just a little word of warning, in Markarth the damage goes up even higher. So yeah. And then for the CP on this build, guys, feel free to pause it. This is what works for me. This seems to give me the highest damage and the best ease of use. So you can use this in CP Cyrodiil. The damage is just ridiculous with how hard this hits, as you've seen in the preview. But yeah, copy the CP or tweak it yourself, but this works for me. And for those people that goes tips and tricks on how to play this build, I'm going to refer you to the next video that's coming out, so make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to show you how to play the build, the tips, the tricks, what am I thinking, what am I doing, why am I doing it, so that way you can really learn how to play this and do much better. But with that said, I'm just going to wrap this one up here. So I say a massive thank you to all the people who stayed this long, a big thank you to the Patreons who help support me make these videos, so it's really appreciated. And if you want to get involved, help myself and the channel, then do consider donating as much or as little as you can on our Patreon. It really helps. Even liking, commenting, and sharing helps as well. But with that said guys, I'm just going to wrap this up here, so I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, take care, and bye!